Thank you for joining us today on What's Up Prince William. Today we have Dr. Babur Lateef from the Prince William County School Board. Thank you very much for being on our show today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Billingsley. Appreciate it.
So, one of the people have a little bit of confusion on, you have the administration of the Prince William County Schools, and then you have the Prince William County School Board.
Yep.
What is the difference, and what does the Prince William County School Board do?
So good. So the administration is the superintendent of schools. So the superintendent is basically in charge of, placing principals, hiring teachers, ensuring that the budget and the money gets spent properly. The school board oversees the superintendent. So we hire the superintendent and we ensure he has the resources he needs to accomplish what we need to do for the schools. So we run about 100 facilities, 98 schools, and we access resources from the Prince William County School Board, or from the Prince County Board of Supervisors, from the state, from the federal government. We take those resources, we give them to the superintendent divides them up and makes sure that he spends them properly in all the schools. So the school board is in charge of voting on how we spend the money and making sure we're spending it in the right way and overseeing the spending of the money and making sure the administration is doing what they need to do to run our school system well.
And earlier, the school board had a few challenges. So what made you decide to jump in and actually run for school board chairman?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Good question. So I have 4 children. I have 1 in elementary school, 2 in middle school, and 1 in high school. So I feel like I really know how the school system works and how it's supposed to work. I'm public school educated my entire life, all the way from kindergarten through medical college. I went through all public universities. And so for me, public education is important. Public education worked for me. I want it to work for everyone. I also sit on the Board of Visitors at the University of Virginia, and I've done that for the last 2.5 years. So I'm overseeing the governance of one of the great public institutions in the country and in the world, and that's the University of Virginia. So I'm excited about that. So I feel like I could bring something to the table to help make sure our public schools run well and even run better.
So what kind of challenges have you faced so far as school board chair?
So the biggest challenge is budgetary. So we have to pass a new budget this year, and we want to make sure we have enough resources to do what we need to do to fund our schools. So one of the concerns I had when I ran for office is we have the lowest teacher salaries in the region, in the Northern Virginia region. We have one of the highest classroom sizes, or the most crowded classrooms in the Northern Virginia region. So what we wanted to do is find a way to reduce our class size, to have less students per teacher, less students per classroom. Also wanted to pay the teachers better so that we have a better way of retaining our teachers, because a lot of our teachers leave. They move north, they go to Fairfax or Arlington because they get paid more. So a lot of young ones come here, they get a couple years experience, and then they take off for a job that pays them more. And so our job is to find ways to recruit and retain good teachers. And it's not unusual that your older child has a great teacher and then your next child doesn't have that teacher because that teacher left. And so you see that across the county with all of our schools. And so those are the things we wanted to address. And so that's the biggest challenge. So coming up with ways to increase teacher salary, improve our infrastructure, improve our safety and security of kids as well. That's another big issue. Those were the things we're working on in the budget. So those were the biggest challenges I think I've faced. And so far, and I'm proud to say that we're proposing a new budget that's going to give teachers the biggest raise they've had in over 15 years. We're going to hire, I think, 40 plus counselors and psychologists to improve our student to counselor ratio across the board, elementary all the way through high school. And that helps with safety and security, right? So that helps the kids who might need someone to talk to, might be depressed. They have another resource, another person who might not be too busy for them, right? And so those are the kinds of things we're looking at. And we also wanted to, so like I said, salary and space, and we're going to do some more construction to help add classrooms and space for our kids so they're not so crowded.
And so what is something that you're looking forward to in the future, or something that by being here now that that maybe inspired you a little bit just from working with this?
Yeah. So one of the main reasons I ran is that I would like to make an impact on how we train our kids. How do we educate our kids? Are we getting them ready for the careers of the future? And I've given this a lot of thought. I mean, are we preparing them for the jobs that we don't even know exist now? And are we preparing them to do the kinds of things we do as Americans best? So, we always hear about, India or Indonesia, they're better in math and science than we are. They do better on this test, like Finland and things like that. One thing everyone should sort of take a breath and stand back and say, well, we've never been #1 at those things when they come out with these tests. But America's always been #1 at innovating, discovery, and creativity. That's why everybody comes here. That's why every foreign student wants to come to our universities, because we have a way, with our liberal education, with our ability to get people to communicate and to remain creative, to come up with great discovery, right? We do that better than anyone else in the world. So how do we continue to do that? Because there's a lot of pressure for us to test kids and test them and try to meet some testing criteria that we say the world has decided upon. But the real thing is people are still coming here because the one thing you can't test, or the one thing that's difficult, is how do we teach creativity, discovery? And I want to make sure we don't lose that, because that's what we've always been number one at. And I want to make sure, and now more than ever, with technology changing so fast, we want to have our kids be able to communicate, be able to be creative, be able to invent, all of those things. And I think that's what I'd love to do. So are we having enough curricular progress? Like, do we have good CTE programs? Like the vocational training. Mm-hmm. Do we have enough of that? Do we have enough programs that are allowing our kids to experiment with different areas of interest in high school? So if they're into the STEM areas or they're into the arts, do we have enough of those programs? So those are the things I'd like to see more of. And so I want to bring more of those types of curricular opportunities to our students, so that they leave our county ready for college or ready for the career, ready for the workforce. Yeah.
And so no, that's really great, because I know that's one of the things that a lot of parents are actually worried about now, as far as not every kid goes to college.
That's right.
And there has to be something for them to be able to go out into the workforce. So that's a great thing. Parents who want to keep informed, what are some different ways that parents can keep informed, as far as like what the school board's doing, or some of the challenges the school boards are actually discussing?
Well, that's a great question. So we have a website for the Prince William County School Division. On there are buttons for what the school board's agenda is for our next meetings. It has a list of all of our meetings coming up. It has a list of the agenda. Everything is public that we vote on, so all of that is available in advance. Everything is public noticed before we vote on it. We'd love to invite people in to come and attend our meetings. They're welcome to email us with questions or concerns they have. I really work hard at trying to respond to them. If I don't respond directly, I forward their concerns to an administrator who may know that answer and be able to get it to them quicker. And so those are the things that they can do. I think it's important that for parents to remain engaged with their local schools. So they're in the PTOs and they're working with the kids and they understand what's happening at that local level. Mm-hmm. But then also to see what's happening at the broader school level, they can go to the website and they can also get involved at the school. So there's parent-teacher organizations, there's the Superintendent's Advisory Council, so you can become a member of those things. And then the school board has a number of committees that we appoint citizens to. Okay. Like we have a safety and security committee that looks at things that involve safety and security of our kids.
Very good. Well, we really appreciate what you're doing here. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
I appreciate it.
And I'm sure we'll have you back to talk about something else in the near future.
Thanks for spending the time with me this afternoon.
And thank you for joining us on What's Up Prince William.